Hey guys, it's Bellamy here from Midnight Suns and welcome to my review for Captain America Brave New World. So just right off the bat, let me just start off this review by saying Captain America 4 is not a great movie, but it is not necessarily a bad movie either. It is just very aggressively mid. If anything, this movie actually felt more like a season 2 of The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, the TV series. It felt more like a season 2 of that rather than a movie. And you absolutely 100% must watch The Falcon and the Winter Soldier before watching this movie, because if you don't watch that first season, you're gonna be very confused when they start introducing all the characters from that show in this movie. So yeah, the Disney Plus series is 100% required watching so that you know what happened in between Avengers Endgame and this movie, especially in regards to the Falcon, his character, as well as his new teammates, and all the character development that happened in The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. You must watch that show first. But that being said, this movie isn't even as good as that show. And I know a lot of people don't even like that show, the first season of The Falcon and Winter Soldier, but I actually quite liked it. Like, I thought the whole US agent storyline in that show was really good, but honestly, the Red Hulk storyline in this movie is even worse than that. So if you already didn't like The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, I think you'll like this movie even less. And speaking of the Red Hulk, I must say the marketing in this movie is extremely misleading. So you know, in all the posters and trailers, they keep showing the Red Hulk and also Giancarlo Esposito, his villain character. They keep showing them in all the trailers and posters. But each of them, I think in the movie, maybe have about 5 to 10 minutes of screen time each. Like, don't get me wrong, Harrison Ford, his Thunderbolt Ross characters throughout the movie, he appears throughout the movie, but his Red Hulk character, minor spoilers, only appears at the very end of the movie for like 5 to 10 minutes in a final short battle scene. And Giancarlo Esposito's villain character is really just honestly barely in the movie. He does have a couple, and by a couple I do mean two, literally two fight scenes in the movie, which were alright, I guess. But yeah, he's not really in the movie throughout at all. And I really think they should have kept the Red Hulk a secret. I get the reason why they didn't. Like, the reason they're putting the Red Hulk in all the marketing materials is because he is the selling point of the movie. Everyone is watching this movie to see the Red Hulk. Everyone wants to see a new Hulk. But what I really want to know is that if Disney already knows that everyone wants to watch this movie for the Red Hulk, then why did they only stuff the Red Hulk in at the very end of the movie? I mean, if he's gonna appear so little in the movie, I think it would have been better if they just kept him a complete secret. And then when he appears at the end of the movie, everyone would actually be really surprised. And it might have actually elevated the movie even more if I had no expectation of the Red Hulk even appearing in the movie. But because they spoiled it in all the trailers, in all the posters, and he's barely in the movie, that really makes this movie extremely disappointing for most of the people that I know that watched the movie, including myself. And you know, Seth Rollins, the WWE superstar, he even confirmed that he was removed from this movie. And I have a feeling they just removed him and replaced him with Giancarlo Esposito's character, because Giancarlo Esposito's character feels like a last-minute addition to the movie. He has barely any screen time in the movie. And yeah, he's just a mini boss character, I guess you could say. But yeah, the marketing in this movie is so misleading, and the actual villain in this movie is barely even in the trailers at all. So I think it should have really been the other way around. They should have put the actual villain in this movie in all the trailers and hit the Red Hulk. Let the audience be surprised when the Red Hulk appears at the end, instead of ruining the surprise for everybody right in the trailers. And I must also say the action scenes in this movie are a huge downgrade from the previous Captain America movies. And I know the canon explanation is that obviously the new Captain America, Sam Wilson, who was the Falcon, he doesn't have the super soldier serum. So naturally he can't do all the amazing things that Steve Rogers was able to do. But even then, I felt that the hand-to-hand action combat in this movie was pretty sloppy. It felt like if you took any of the action scenes in The Winter Soldier and slowed them down by 50%, you would have the action scenes in this movie. Now, I will admit there are some pretty cool action scenes in this movie, particularly the ones that take place in the sky. Like, there's this pretty cool area battle scene at the Celestial Island. And also the fight with Red Hulk at the end was pretty entertaining. But yeah, the really good action scenes are really few and far between. Most of the action scenes are really very generic. I wouldn't say they're bad, but it's definitely not on the level of The Winter Soldier or even Civil War. And speaking of the fight scenes, I must talk about the final battle. Red Hulk vs Captain America, which is shown in all the trailers. Man, that fight had some pretty good sequences, but I think overall it was pretty disappointing. And also the CGI in that final fight scene between Red Hulk and Captain America in this movie had a lot of problems. Like, half the time you could tell that Captain America was standing in front of a green screen, and Red Hulk also looked like a video game character a lot of times. And man, I really love Harrison Ford. You know, when they had to recast Thunderbolt Ross, I thought choosing Harrison Ford was the perfect casting choice. But man, his character, no fault of his character is really a big disappointment in this movie. The Red Hulk isn't even the Red Hulk that we know from the comics. I mean, he doesn't even have the same powers that he has in the comics. In this movie, he's literally just another Hulk but recolored red. He doesn't have all the fire powers that he had in the comics. So what is the point of having the Red Hulk if you're just gonna waste him and just make him another Hulk? He's literally the same as any of the other Green Hulks we've seen, just recolored red. And also, man, that post-credit scene, I'm not gonna spoil it, but it really was a whole lot of nothing. And yeah, the movie is 2 hours long, so when the credits start rolling, if you really need to rush to the washroom, I think you can just go ahead and do so. Like, you're not gonna miss anything, trust me. The end credit scene was really just a whole lot of nothing. Like, it was really just a waste of time. It didn't give us any new information at all. But with all the bad things I didn't like about the movie out of the way, let me talk about some things I actually did like about the movie. So like I said earlier, I actually did like some of the action scenes, and especially there's this new character, Ruth Bader Saraf. I actually really like her action scenes. I thought she was the standout character in the whole movie. She's like this kick-ass secret agent, and yeah, she was awesome in the movie, I think. And I also like that they started wrapping up some of the unanswered plot points from the past years of the MCU history. Like, they actually address the fallout of the Eternals with the whole Celestial Island and all that. And they also address the events of the first Hulk movie from 2008, which was up till now largely ignored in the MCU. In fact, this movie felt more like a sequel to that Hulk movie, rather than a Captain America sequel movie. But okay, now it's time for me to give this movie a score. And overall, I'm giving Captain America Brave New World a 6 out of 10. I think it's pretty weird that this is a Captain America movie that largely revolves around the Hulk, without the Hulk being in it. Yeah, it's really weird. I think they could have easily replaced Captain America, his character, with the Hulk, and it would have been a way better movie and made way more sense. And also, I can tell they were trying to go with this whole political intrigue, this government conspiracy story, similar to what they had in The Winter Soldier, but by doing so, they just open themselves to be compared to that movie, and this movie really pales in comparison with that movie. Now, I don't think this movie is completely unwatchable. As a generic action thriller, I think it is still a pretty good movie. It is a solid 6 out of 10. It is pretty slow at times, but it is not outrightly bad, it is just aggressively generic. So if you're going into this movie expecting the standards of the previous 2 Captain America movies especially, you're gonna be very disappointed. But if you're just going in there for a generic Hollywood action movie, I think you might actually quite enjoy this movie. So yeah, control your expectations before you watch this movie, and I think you might quite enjoy it. And with that being said, that's all for this review. If you haven't subscribed already, please do consider subscribing, it will help me out a ton. Feel free to hang around and stay tuned for more movie reviews here on the Midnight Science channel. Thanks again for watching, and as always, stay gold and never fade. Bye everybody.